Welcome back to another episode. I don't know if it's is it working now? I think it should be working. If you're watching this stream from as a VOD, not live, then just skip ahead a few seconds. Skip ahead 20 seconds. Alright, until I make sure that everything works. So, today we are going to be working on the item system. So last time we worked on the killing of other characters, and actually offline, or off screen rather, I made some additional progress which got not the nice molecules, it's OpenSuspect. So we got some progress that got merged into main. So finally things are merged into the main branch on OpenSuspect. So if you go to our, what is this called, the kind of the organization page, I guess, the GitHub/OpenSuspect, you will see that now we have some activity here because things got merged into main. So yeah, the thing is, I finished up my work on the, what is it called? Character model, I guess, and role assignment and kill mechanics. So let me just go in here. Role assignment should follow game design. That's happened, so let me tick this. And killing should be implemented through a hidden item for infiltrators who get a gun. Yes, and this third point has not yet been implemented here. But that's what we did last week, and I finished it after the stream when I had some ideas, and we will take a look at that. But I'm not opening OpenSuspect just yet because this item system branch, which was started by the second real zero and have been worked on a bit by me too, well, I have to merge main into this one. I could just check out my git history here. What? Git log. It's called log. And so nice micro and nice micro and nice micro and nice micro and wait. Is this item system not made by the second real zero? Is this another branch I made? Let me just check this out real quick here. So on OpenSuspect, what branches do we have here? Item system, which is 10 commits ahead and 124 behind. Yeah, that does not look good. But if I take a look at this commit history here, oh wow. Oh, it's merged the pull request from second real zero's item system. But where are those commits? Add the explanation comments. Yeah, I think these are autoload plus item template class. These are oh yeah. So this was a very long time ago. That's why I couldn't find these. It was in January. It was in this year, January. And now we have the honor of merging this into main. I should have done this off screen, but I was doing some housework because I just got recovered from a, what is it called, contagious illness, and after that it is a good idea to just really do a thorough cleaning of your place, not to infect yourself again and your visitors, and that was what I was doing. So let's just git merge main here. conflict. Of course there are some conflicts, and the only conflict is in project.godot. Well, let's find the problematic part here. Main added all these things. Okay, that's all fine and dandy. Wait, what? Oh, here. Yeah, sorry. So it starts here. Base, resource, class, item, resource, language, GDScript, and path, and then item template, class, it's also resource, and then okay, so we added this item thing, adds 2 new resources, and we also add global script class icons. Okay, so this seems like a little more complicated to resolve than I was hoping for, but we will solve it. Because these resources, so we can see that, for example, character resource was in both of these. And it seems like the ability resource, which I made recently, got merged in correctly here. But we also have a gun ability which did not get merged in properly, and teams roles template. But we also should have the resource for the role assignment in the other things. Are there any more conflicts? No, only this one. So how do I resolve this? And if you are in the chat watching, welcome to the stream, and you can ask me anything, not just related to the development, but kind of, let's try, if possible, let's keep it brief if we talk about something else about the development. So these things, so this resource, these 2 resources, that's not JSON, never mind. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but if I say set ftype equals JSON unknown option, well, you're giving me bad ideas here. Alright. So we don't know JSON, which is weird. But anyways, I need to, so item resource, that's alright. So item resource and this resource, where is the starting parenthesis for this? It's here, alright. But this base ability, gun ability, and then teams roles template, these 9 lines, I guess. Yeah, these 9 lines should be moved up here, and then we have to do, I guess, this curly brace magic. So now we have this. Do I have all those things, and then we have all these global script class icons. And character resource, I guess, only has to be there once. And I think it looks fine now. So we have the GDScript script classes, resource ability, resource character resource, resource item resource, and resource item template. And then we have ability, which is gun ability. So this is extension of this. And we also have the themes roles template, but we don't have... I don't know why we don't have that, but maybe I don't... Okay, anyways, let's save and quit, and let's see if Godot can open. Wow. It became unnamed project. Project setting file does not specify the version of Godot through which it was created. If you proceed with opening it, it will be converted to Godot's current configuration file format. Okay. But it does not work. What got screwed up here? Okay. Config version 4. Global script class. Okay, let me just... How can I deal with this? How do I deal with this? Why did it become unnamed project? Let me just so I want to compare this to 5BEDC83, I guess. BEDC83 and project, src / project.godot. Global script classes part has script class icons. Is there a colon missing somewhere? Yes, there is a colon missing after item template here. Okay. Would be nicer if these things... Okay, open. Yes. Solved the problem. Found the missing colon. No, that was not a colon. That was a... What is the character called? Anyways. Let's see if it works. So I can move around, skate around. If I start the game, become CIA agent. Comma! Thank you for the notification. So, this is the gun I have. But no, I don't have anyone to shoot, so... Let me start another instance and let's check if things work out. So... Start, and I am an agent, so I don't have a gun. I don't have the gun here, and you can see that my other character, they have the gun and they can shoot me, and they can reload and they can shoot me again. And if they shoot me, I rotate 90 degrees, but that doesn't matter. That's a bug, not a feature. But here I cannot move. Doesn't matter how much I press the buttons, because I'm dead. So this have been implemented, and so now to the item system. And the question what I just had I want to check out before. If I go to my ChemLab here, there is this ChemLab roles resource here. Why is this not? Okay, because it does not have a name. So I did not name this unlike character resource, which is called class name character resource, and I don't know what else do we have here. We also have gun. No, that's not it. Where is the gun? This gun, not this gun. Yeah, this is the gun.gd. This extends the ability and it has a class name called gun ability, so that's why. And this does not have a TSCN like the role assignment does, because role assignment has like, you know, that's not TSCN what I'm talking about. What I want to talk about is UI elements, no? Resource classes. TRES. So TRES, Teams Roles Template has a TRES. Item Template has a TRES. Because we need to be able to put these on a map. So if I go back to the ChemLab, the ChemLab has a script variable that's called Teams Roles Resource, and this is where I have to put the TSCN file, or not TSCN, TRES file, and there is the GD script that's connected to that one. But I think that's already too much off topic. So items. How is this item system supposed to work? So you have an item template TRES, which is, if we check the code for this, let's close everything else. Let's enlarge this view here. And so the item template, a configure item resource for property in item name texture, texture scale, item resource, set property, get property. And it requires an item resource. This is an item template. Okay, so I was lying when I said I understand what secondary 0 wanted to do with this, but we will figure it out. So we have item resource, which, okay, so has an item name, a texture, texture scale, an item node, so we can, I guess this is going to be the TSCN file loaded up to this. Holder is a character, so who is holding this item and whether it is dropped or not. Okay, those are important things about an item. You can get its name, get its texture, get texture scale, get item node. Set item node, setting an item node to an item resource that already has one. Yeah, that's good. Get item node and get holder is dropped. Alright. And in the item template, I don't know how it is supposed to work though. Still don't get it. So this template, if I open the TRES here, we can see that this is what? Oh, what am I opening here? I want item template.TRES, sorry. So it has a texture, texture scales, and the name. And we should read this documentation for this, and that will be where do I find that? If I go to maybe pull requests, and what was the name of that? Appearance, refactor, and data? No. What was that? Item sprites added. Before this, we should have. Where is the item? Okay, let me just search. That's the easiest way. Item implementing because it fixes. Initial setup for item resource and node classes. That's it. No description provided. Where was the description provided then? Explanation comments. Yeah, but where are these explanation comments? Where do I find these? Items.gd. Where is items.gd? Autoloads. Alright, so it comes with an autoload, which I somehow missed. Autoloads items.gd. Alright, how items should be used. Figure out the name of the item you want, for example, wrench. Create an item, which will be item resource equals the create items.create item name. Item node equals item resource get item node. Use this however you want, probably adding it to the map or using it as task. How the items autoload works. All item templates are stored in a folder as TRS files. The folder path is stored in item template folder path. When the game starts, all TRS files in the folder are loaded and saved into the item template's direct dictionary, keyed by the item name variable. Okay. Wow, a lot of example, a very long example here. So you have a create item function, get item template function, instance templates. For example, we use a 3rs file to walk through the process. Let's say the item template resource is saved as wrench.trs. Let's also say the resource looks something like this. Item name equals wrench. Okay, so all resources stored in that folder are loaded using these steps. Instance item templates is called in the declaration of item templates. This function returns a dictionary containing all item template resources. This function starts by using a helper function to instance all resource files inside the item template folder. So instance item templates. This will load files in directory with extensions trs and res. And item template folder path is game items. So this will have to be made map specific in the future, I think, because every map will probably have different types of items. But anyways, and we go through all the templates in this for loop, and just add it to the dictionary. What? So We don't have to instantiate them, or does this function? It loads this resource, but you don't have to make an instance of it. I'm not sure. Let's close this. I opened this accidentally. Alright, so that will go through all the items in that folder. Has that been ever tested, if it works or not? Anyways. So this function starts by using to instance all resource files. The function then iterates through all of these resources. Make sure the loaded resource is actually an item template and gets the item name from the item template and stores it in a dictionary. Okay, that's clear. So we have a dictionary which will contain range item template, resource. If there were more item templates in that folder, would exist also like that. Okay. So item templates are then used when items.createItem is called. For instance, the range item template is used when items.createItem range is called. The item template is then just used to configure a fresh item resource, which is basically just telling it what name, texture, texture scale, etc. to use. Yeah, alright, so let's follow this guide and create our first item. For that we will check. So here at currently, question is, of course, when is this instance item templates function called? When is this called? Shouldn't this be an onReady var because this is called when it's ready? Or is this just runs instantaneously before this auto load is ready? Is this working? I don't know. Oh, this exit, this is a big issue. We have someone make a bug report for the exit dialog appearing behind this character. And everything else. It appears behind everything. That's not how it's supposed to look like. Okay, so item templates will be called. Oh, let me just print debug so I understand it correctly. So I run it. Loading item templates, that just ran in the very beginning, so it's fine. And we can probably have something like under the map directory also we could have items. Item node, in-game textures. Alright, so we have the textures for that, and we have a range.trs, but it's not actually a range, and it actually has not a range as a texture. So we have a lot of things here. Let me just, what if we don't need a range here? We need some, like, what do we have? Textures. Beakers, gas burners, tripods, powder bottles, liquid bottles, etc. So let's have a powder bottle instead of a range. Can we rename this? Powder bottle. Item name powder bottle, and then we'll also have this powder bottle as a texture. The script it uses is just the general item template. Okay, that's fine. But the question is, how do I instantiate, how do I make an item actually? Now that I have the item template for the powder bottle, we also have an item node, which is supposed to be a template for items. So I guess that's what I will have to be dealing with. So we'll just create an item node. What? No, cancel. So we should create an item node. And what's its collision shape? Yeah. And we'll have to set the sprite using the item autoload. Am I guessing that right? So items autoload function create new item. Yeah, it will get an item template with the name, item resource equals create item resource, and then item node create item node. So we'll creating an item resource. What does it do? It instantiates a new item resource. That's fine. And then also creates an item node, which yeah, here it creates an item node, and then configure item template will configure the item resource. So item template configure item resource. Oh, it just copies all the properties from item resource or to item resource from the item template. That's alright. Then set item node set item resource. So we'll connect the item resource and node together and then return an item resource. Okay, so I guess once we got the item resource back, what can we do with the item resource? We can get the item node and use that to, okay. So what if, I'm sorry, I open the map, ChemLab, the chemical laboratory map, which we have here. So it just uses the map template. How do I want to do something that's just something very simple to instantiate an item here. So maybe Okay, let's create a storage room, for example. Okay, so I will create a new scene. DWM detected. Yes, DWM is correctly detected. Storage room, I guess. And it's going to be a 2D scene, so no 2D. And we can save this node. So now we have storage room over there, and we will attach a script. And then what will we do here? We will just, so this storage room, how do I do something 10 times? Not I in 10, it's going to be I in range 10. Is it going to be like Python? Items. What unexpected token error parse error? What the hell is going on here? Something's not working properly. What did I change about CamLab? You have to specify the beginning and end, like range 0 to 10. Oh! Is this the problem? No, I think something just went totally awry here. I have a lot of error messages from gdscript_tokenizer, so I will just save everything, close, open again. And let's try again. So storage room. Okay, so what's the error here? Isn't this how for loops work? For something in something? Or, oh, or do I have to put it in a... Maybe I have to put it in a... Yes, okay, so that's what it's not telling me, that stupid, you have to put everything in functions. Alright, so storage room will use items dot create item, and what function, what do I have to call it with? Name. So what's the item name we need to call this with? Items powder bottle, so it's called powder bottle, and this will return an item resource. Okay, so and then what I can do is new underscore item dot get item node, which is a function. And what we do here is we'll have to set the coordinates of this item. I'm sorry. Still not fully recovered. So, but I already have to go to work, so I'm recovered enough for work, I'm recovered enough to stream. I was even streaming when I was not even recovered enough to work, so whatever. Whatever I'm trying to do here is set the position. And position of an item is what functions do a node have? Or rather, position. It's called position. So and I should give this a vector too. So vector 2I times 20 j times 20. And what else do I have to do is I have to add this room to my map. So storage room somewhere, and position, let's make it 500. No, let's make it 1000 and 300. Yeah, there. Will this work? Will this do something? Well, it definitely did something. Non-existent function position in base kinematic body 2D. So kinematic body 2D does not have a position? What are you talking about? So items, assets. Where was the item node? Item node, here it is. So you are a kinematic body and you don't have position. Did I type this wrong? Did I make a typo here? Position. Position is a property, not a function. Oh. Oh, damn, right. That's... yeah, I have to just equal and set it. Yeah, right. Oh, I did not do something very important here. And that is add child. I need to add the child here. New item. Get item node. Oops, it's a function, it's not a property. Still nothing. Oh. I am bumping into something. No? Okay, what is on here? So game, come on, open it. Map, CamLab, storage room. It's supposed to have all these item nodes on. but the textures are empty. Are you calling add child on the correct node? It should be added to the root of the map scene. Well, it's added to the root of the storage room. So storage room is a separate scene, so that's the root of the scene is the storage room, and it added all these item nodes. But the item nodes do not seem to have textures. So that should work. Yeah, so the items are added to the scene, but the items do not have sprites. So this texture did not work. So powder bottle, even though the powder bottle has a texture, and that texture, well, I suppose it's copied to the actual item resource we have here, because if I open this remote, let's open an item node. Let me move this. There is the item resource here, and if I open the item resource has the texture. So it have been copied there properly. What we don't have, is we don't have that. So whenever this item is created, items create item, we configure the item resource, but we do not set the texture for the item resource. So I should be doing that. So I should actually just somehow when we set this item with this resource, this item node, should get a sprite assigned to it somewhere. If sprite not equals null, then sprite, well, I think this should be sprite equals null, shouldn't it? Because if I don't have a sprite yet, I need to get, so what it should, I guess if item resource not equals 0 or null, if the item resource, the texture in the item resource is not null, then it will complain. So that was not a bug introduced by me. That script was not written by me. I'm just saying, not my fault. Now, still no texture on the items though. So let's open up the inspector here again. CamLab, alright, storage room, has all the items. Sprite, texture is empty. Sprite, normal map is empty. So sprite.texture equals item resource.get texture. Oh, because now I made, this is a bug that I introduced. I need this to be not equal null. I am just silly me. And now it breaks. Alright, at least now I see something's trying to be happening, it just fails to happen. So, set index texture on base nil with value of type stream texture. Sprite.texture. So load map is called, new item is create item is called create, and then create item is called, then set item resource is called, and then set item resource is called. We want to get the texture from the item resource. And we get the texture because that's not where we fail. We fail when we try to set it to this sprite.texture. And the texture on base nil. So sprite underscore sprite is nil. Why is underscore sprite nil? Underscore sprite equals sprite. Maybe because this item node is not ready yet, so sprite has not been set yet. So we have to set the sprite actually separately later in another function. And here we will call deferred set sprite. Now we will only call that setting sprite function once we are ready. And ta-da! We have all these powder bottles on the ground here. Great. Let me just make that a little more spaced out. Great. These are very, very big powder bottles. But luckily, what we can do is we can actually decrease their size through the powder bottle.trs. Maybe we can set it to 0. I don't know, 3. And if it works correctly, then will be nice. I don't need this much spaced out. Let's make it a little. Let's make it 80 and 30 maybe. Now that we decrease the size. Alright, now they are very, very small. But I guess on the map, being this small is kind of fine. We can just or rather, let's make it a little bigger, and we can think about some of the implications later. And then we can just space them out 40 and 70. And it's not that it's that important, just yeah, okay. And actually, I don't think items should collide with the players. So I should just go through items and just pick them up. Items might want to collide with each other, so we cannot put them on top of each other irresponsibly. I guess, according to Nilrad, you should buy potassium nitrate in gigantic bottles So original size looks right to me. Well, makes sense. The thing is, and I think we can later just resize, so when it's picked up and it's in the hand of the player, it can be resized to make it smaller, and when it's on the floor it can be bigger, so you can read it. But actually the thing I copied, or rather which inspired this drawing, is like these very small powder bottles, which are like really tiny. But yeah, if you're buying potassium nitrate, then you should buy it in gigantic bottles. I'm just used to very small amount of very expensive chemicals, I guess. So, now that we have this, we have a working item template. What to do next? Do I just commit these changes already? I mean, a lot of green and red here, so yeah, I guess let's commit. Oh, wait! I still not committed the merge. Damn. Oh, wow, that's not good. Damn. I did not commit the merge. What do I do? Well, I guess... Or can I just stash staged? Oh. So I have something staged now, but what is my status now? Git stash pop. Let's pop it back. Alright. What are the files here? I guess I think I should just add everything and then... Yeah, I just... So I should remove things. No. I can stash everything. Let's see if that does it work if I stash everything that's staged. I merge main. Then I fix project.godot. Can I just... Yeah, src slash project Godot. I needed to put these 9 lines up here. And then this looks fine, except there is a comma needed here. and this has to be removed. So now yeah, these match, these match, these match, these match. All right. And okay. So I think, yeah, the merge must have worked properly. And now why do I have all these things added here? I don't know, but I don't care because these are just import files. Now let's commit the merge. Okay, let's sign this. And now let's pop the stash. And we have some issues with the camlab.trcn, of course. So let's fix this real quick. Stashed changes. So I think whatever was in the stashed version is what's going to be good. Set ft equals dos ini. Wow, that actually looks nice. Thanks for the tip. So let's delete these because the stash changes were good. So everything that's not in the stashed changes will be deleted. And now the following files are new on disk. What action should be taken? Reload everything. Oops. Let's switch back to floating mode here. Alright. We are back where we have to be. But before I commit these changes, let's change the collision of the item node. Item should not collide with anything yet. Maybe they can collide with each other, so let's set items on the second thing here, and then project settings, and then what was this? Physics 2D? No? Layer name 2D physics, that was it. Why don't you call it items collide? I renamed it specifically, yeah, but I guess it's... Tooltips are not reloaded now. Yeah, now they reloaded. Great, so now if I start this, I can just move through the items without any friction, which is great. So yeah, things got renamed and all these things are alright. So git commit so that looks nice for now, and let me take a 5-minute break before we move on to our next objective, which will be, I guess, picking up items and dropping them, which is going to be more difficult. Alright, I am back, and hopefully things are working right. So what we actually need for item is we also need like pickup items to be picked up. 9 is ability range, so maybe 10 should be an item pickup range or something. And the stream seems to be on the struggle bus. I think I am on the struggle bus, not the stream. So characters should have an item pickup range or something like that. And for that we need, what do we need for that? Area 2D for detection and physics, and yes, that's all we need. And we need a collision shape for it, which could be an oval or capsule. And item pickup range, great. And transform this by rotating 90 degrees and increasing its size. Want a reasonable pickup range here, I guess. Something along these lines, and then the item pickup. This will mask for layer 10. Alright. And we should have so what I want is that whenever we are close enough to an item, there should be like a button should appear maybe on the heads-up display. Should I do that first, or should I do the pickup mechanics first? I think the head-up display is the easier part, maybe. And I think yeah, that would make sense. Let's do that. Is there area entered? Body entered. So body entered is emitted when physics body 2D or tile map enters this area 2D. Requires monitoring to be set true. Tile maps and detected if tile set has collisions. Alright. So we need to set this. Yeah, monitoring is all on. Alright, so that's alright. So body entered. And then also we'll have another function when the body exited. What is body shape? Limited when physics body 2D or time maps shape 2D enters. Alright, I don't know what that is. I think this one will be better. And what it should be doing is that if this, do we have a main character parameter here? Yes, we do. So you can just check whether if we are main character, and then we can do something. To interact with the graphical interface. Let's close everything else. And but first of all, we can just test if this actually works, I guess. Print debug and body. What is body actually? I don't know, but what happens is that I create a game, and once I move close here, yeah, item pickup body entered, kinematic body 2D. Okay, so this is, and then exited, and then entered, and then exited, and then entered, and then exited. Great. And if I run another instance and no, I don't want to create a game, I want to join. Sorry. If I join a game here and I start, and if the other character moves in and moves out, that did not fire the this. So it works as intended. Great. So what should I do? I should open my UI elements. No, where is the HUD? HUD is here. Here is our HUD, and under the or next to the abilities, we can add the new horizontal box container, which could be item interactions, I guess. And item interaction box. It's another H box container, which is game UI item interact. Good. Now So how do we interact with this head-up display from there? So the easiest thing would be if the character could just signal that an item has entered the range. And what else? The item should signal that the body entered, and then we need, or body exited. Okay, so that makes sense at the moment. But where do I connect the character signal to the heads-up display's receiving end? So probably in the game.gd when we add a character, who has the heads-up displays instance? There is nothing related to the heads-up display here. So HUD, where do I instance the HUD? Oh, what? Why? Monban told me that RG only searches text files. I guess this is a text file. What on earth is going on here? If I search for item, that works. Okay. So what's this HUD.gd or HUD.tscm? Maybe I should search like that. So the HUD is just called like this from this just scene switching, and we do not have a reference to it anywhere except in scenes, which is not nice. And in the head-up display here, what did I change? I changed this. So in the head-up display, we can connect to the game scenes, whatever. How do I connect this to the head-up display? That's why I don't like signals. I don't like anything. It's very complicated. Because even here, I just use the transition handler which saves the game scene to connect to those abilities over there, but in the character is just totally oblivious of everything that's going on in the game. The character does not know about the UI around it. It does not know about the map or anything else. So maybe the character has to notify the game scene, and then the game scene notifies the heads-up display. Does it make any sense that the game scene I guess we can do that because we can always just I guess how do I do that? Connect the character. Oh no, new character resource. That's not the... Okay, so this is new character, which is dot connect and maybe how should I do this? This seems very janky. Whatever I am going to do here is going to be very janky. Because I will have to connect, so let's make a signal here. An item entered, and or should I just have one signal for both and just... Yeah, let's make it item interaction and well, the item and the interaction, I guess. Do I have to define these here at the signal? I'm not sure. How is this player disconnected? Yeah, it just emits the signal here. Alright, so here we can just have the item interaction signal with item and interaction. And so let's emit signal, item interaction, and then body and entered. We'll just use a string for that because why not? Item interaction, body, and then exited. And here I'll have to connect the character signal, which is item interaction. Yes. And then I have to have the GUI, the head-up display connected here. How do I do that? Or do I just... Or do I just connect here and then use a second signal? That's just very bad. That will be very, very bad practice, I would think so. But the game scene is not aware of the head-up display, so that's a big problem. So if currently the head-up display is just basically it's in the game scenes something. It has a canvas layer on the game scene, which the game scene is not really aware of because it's added to it by the which scenes autoload just puts this on our game scene. So there is no direct knowledge of the game scene of this head-up display here. Maybe we should. But if I actually start the game just host the game with no player, just like that. Oh, then it doesn't even work at the moment. Isn't there like a parent node function or similar? I guess so. The question is, how do I do this elegantly? How do I do this elegantly? That's the question. Probably the game scene should be aware of the head-up display because of everything that happens in the game. So this signaling through the Yeah, so this add ability and clear abilities, this also probably should be able to be called from the game scene directly, because the HUD becomes a subscene of the game scene. Get parent will give you the parent of the current node. Yeah, that is true. The problem is when we call. So do we have this auto load which handles the scenes here? And what it does, default switch base. Deferred overlay. What is this doing? If canvas node equals null, then it creates a new canvas layer which it places the canvas node on the top of. So the canvas node is only stored here. This is the game scene. Probably should be aware of the head-up display, but currently how this is implemented, so transition handler just does this scenes.switch base, which loads the game's TSCN for the bottom and then places the HUD over the game scene using that canvas layer. So from the heads-up display we could just call I guess so that's what we can do, is whenever the HUD is ready, instead of connecting to game scene, we could have like a HUD node which starts as empty, and we could have just a simple function called set HUD node. No, what is this? HUD node is node something. I don't know what the HUD is. It's just control. Well, that's a control. Okay. And if it's not, if it's already set to something already, then we can just throw an error. but this can actually be an issue later. But the thing is, HUD node is control. Now? Yeah, now it's fine. And I can just, when the HUD is ready, I can call the game scene underscore set. Maybe that's not, it shouldn't be underscore because it's called outside. From outside, the set HUD node and the game scene. No, not the game scene, it's self. And instead of these signals and things, what we could do is the game scene could just, the ability assigned and the add ability, we could just call the function directly. As such. But I am not sure if I want to do that right now. I don't want to do it right now because let's just focus only on one thing at one time. So now we can connect the characters in item interact function to HUD node. And then the HUD node can have the function for item interact item, which is, I guess, a node, and action, which is a string, and it returns to the void. If action is item interact, let's make it item interact. Let's just print debug item and also the action, whether this does anything. So no, it does not do it. So it does not work. Item interact and connecting the new characters. Because how does it work? So when I connect, yeah, the add ability and clear abilities is on these functions here. So yeah, of course, the signal is emitted from the game scene. Is this happening? Yes, it does happen. Okay. And then print debug should obviously happen. I mean, yeah. There's no issue in this. Should not be not working. So item interaction. Do I not emit the item interaction here? No, I do emit the item interaction, and I also send all these nice things here. And item interaction is a signal we define here, right? Yes. Item interaction is also defined here properly. And where else could be the problem here? Why don't I just do the hardcore way and I guess the real advantage of these signals is that I don't have to check here if it's a main character or not, because I'm only connecting the main character in the game.gd. 3:30 there. I haven't had a nap today. Sleep calls. Good luck. Thank you and have a nice day, Monban. Or rather, good night. And next time I'll try to start the stream earlier for your convenience. So, okay, so we got into the debugger here, breakpoint with entering here, and then let's step into, and then nothing happens. And when I move out, of course, get in here, and nothing happens. Am I connecting it improperly here? New character. No, that is the get character node from the character resource. And this is also the character node. And this is the game. Okay, I am very much lost. Why is this character node, which is the get node from the... So why is this not connecting this HUD node thing here? Does this item interact? Is this the problem? What if I just create a dummy function here and do whatever I do here instead of doing it here? Is it going to work? If I try to handle the signal right in the game.gd. Yeah, let's remove these breakpoints here. Yeah, so if I go through, so entered and exited. This all works if I connect to myself. But if I try to connect through the HUD node, that's not going to work. I guess because the HUD node is not set yet. Let me just... It does not raise an error that this node is not set yet. Yeah, it's null. So we have the problem right here, and that is this node does not exist yet. Okay, so that's no problem. We can handle here and just call HUD node.item interact item and action. Yep. All right. So I guess we could have an add item to pick up function here. And the action is what is entered. We can just do add item. Okay, it's void, of course. Add item to pick up and node. How the hell do I solve this? It's an item, of course. And now I have to create a new, I don't know, create a button. And I think this should be done by the same way the ability resource is doing that. Here the item resource should be doing that. So the item resource should be able to give us, where is the item resource? So item, the resources, where are your resource classes? So we have the item resource. The item resource should have, so we should have an item button Similarly, like how we have this gun HUD, which is just the button. What is this called? What this is? This is a texture button, and this we should have a texture button for each item that they can create for us. So how should I do this? Do I just simply instantiate it from code, or do I have a template for that and just instantiate that from the code? And the HUD for the item. And this should have also a scale similar to this. HUD texture scale. Maybe, I don't know, these two lines should also be here, not these two. And that means that the item templates should also have these. And the HUD text. What? Let me just copy this. For property list, let's just make it an array here, and so I can actually copy these things with a and now that this is done, so if I open the item template here, oh, these also have to be export variables, I'm sorry. And now they also appear there. Now, the thing is that these are created from code, so even though these appear here, well, we can use this in other circumstances to directly create it from the editor, but in this case, I just create those items from code because why not? And we can refine that later. But at the moment we have this storage room, and I guess I could the storage room could have like a powder bottle, or you could do whatever you have to do. It doesn't match the variable type item resource. items.create item. So in the items dot create item, does it not return an item resource? I think it does, though. It's an item resource and it returns an item resource. Storage room, here we are. The assigned values type item resource doesn't match the variables type item resource. I don't know what the hell is the problem of Godot with this. Create item powder bottle. So I guess the powder bottle instance here should also have this same texture. Can I just copy this? No, I guess I cannot copy this. So I'll have to use the powder bottle from... Where are you? Assets? No. It's in items, assets, powder bottle. So now I have it here too. Can we still start the game though? Without breaking it. Okay. So still runs this I don't know, this type checking is something that's not good here. What I need is when we have an add item to pick up, we should have a new item icon which is texture button. And it's a texture button dot new or instance, I guess. No? Yeah, I have to declare the variable. So and how do I get the texture from the item? Item. I need to have the item node. Okay, I need to get the item resource through that, so that's going to be an item resource equals item dot get item resources. And then in the item res I can just use I can duplicate these two functions to get the things related to the heads up display. And how does this work? I need to get normal. I guess I can just add texture underscore normal. New item icon dot texture underscore normal equals item res dot get HUD texture, and also also something, I should add something here with how do I add set node, set item node, and how do I set the scale? Oh, that's the sprite.scale. What is the sprite on an item node? Oh, it has a sprite, which actually has a size, I guess. That's what's changed here, sprite.scale. Yes, so in the HUD, I could probably, and if I take a look at a, what is this called? This also have, does this have a size? No, it has a scale. Okay, so new item icon dot scale equals item res dot get HUD texture scale, and then we can add this to the item interact, which will be item int box dot add child new item icon. What have I achieved here? Did I achieve something? Well, I crashed the game. No, non-existent function instance. Do I have to do new? Yeah, I guess I have to do new on those, not instance. All right. Oh, invalid set index scale on base texture button with value type 2. Oh, that's a typo. Scale. Okay. Sooner or later, I figure I find every typo I made in variable names and property names. Oh, invalid set index scale on base texture button. Factor 2. So texture button doesn't have a scale. What? Rect scale. Okay, I should have checked that. Rect scale. Okay. Let's see if it works or not this time. Okay, it works. and they don't get removed. Now these are buttons, so I don't know. We'll have to figure this one out a little. This should be probably a little more, how should I put it? Subtle. So those but that's not the point right now. No, right now the point is just make things work. So let's have a interactable, which is an array, and another array which is interactable UI. And what we will going to do is interactable dot append item, and also interactable dot interact UI dot append, and here I will append the new item icon. So I have these two arrays. One of them will be collecting the item itself that we are interacting with. So there will be, in this case, the powder bottle we just walk over. That will be added to one of these, interact UI, and the other array will contain a list of the icons that we create for them. So we can go through one of the, and when we have the other action, which is if action equals exited, then we can just remove pick up item. And what we can do here with this remove pickup item function is that and we can look for the index in the interactable dot find, I guess, what item, and then we can interact UI item dot queue free. I hope I'm invalid index type node for base array. Oh, yes, it's index, sorry. Which will remove, so this queue free, so as I said, the interact UI is the array that contains the icons that appear on the screen, and so this will, and the interactable is the elements itself, so the reference to the items themselves, and we put them parallel into these two arrays when we find them, and when we leave them, we look for what item did we left, and we look for the corresponding UI element, and we remove that UI element. And after that, what we can do is we can just remove those from interact UI dot pop at index and interactable pop at index. Now I hope this works. You can see as I move closer to these items, these buttons appear, and as I move far away, as I move away, the items disappear as they get out of my pickup range. And of course, in the future, we can do something a little more fun with these buttons, all of them, because now it doesn't just not do anything, but it also doesn't have a highlight, and those things we can, fix later. But now we just have the buttons. We don't have the pickup mechanism yet, so don't worry about that. But anyways, I think this could be called success. Let's just test one more thing, that if we have 2 players playing, let's join. So we have 2 players here, and so if I move, I have the bottles appearing on my screen. Yeah, this should be a Y sort, but it's not really important. And if I move here, it appears on my screen, but not on the other person's screen. Let's move those into the same window. And so if I move here, you can see I get my icons appearing, but if I move here, there will only... Okay, so there is no kind of weird interaction between these two, which is nice. So we can query our Git status and see what... So many things have been modified. Why is the project.godot modified though? Oh, because I changed the name of something. Alright. Interaction button for items in pickup range. And later we can refine this by... I don't know. Later we can refine this by only letting a certain number of these items appear. So even if we have a lot of items in range, only a few of them will be we'll have the button to pick up, and of course we will have to make the buttons look a little better, but that's also cosmetics things which I am not good at, so I will let other people deal with that. So let's push this to my GitHub. What? Maybe I was too ecstatic about today's progress that I typed in item system twice. Alright, so things have been uploaded. So if you go to my page and check out my OpenSus and item system branch, this branch is 127 commits ahead of OpenSuspect/OpenSuspect item system. Well, I guess I can push into that too. So why don't I do that? Upstream item system. Does it let me do that? I think only the main is protected from directly getting pushed into. Yeah, so now, yeah, up to date with OpenSuspect/OpenSuspect item system. Very good. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying with me and helping me out in this coding session, and I will see you next time. Bye bye, I guess.